Good morning. It's about 9 o'clock on Thursday, October 26th, I believe is the date. And let me just apologize in advance because I'm mad about what I'm about to talk about. I've been mad about it for a long time. I wish that I could have talked about this sooner, but I was actually waiting for some things to unfold and some things to happen that haven't happened yet, and I'll explain what I'm talking about. But let me preface this by saying this. As a lawyer, I am what is referred to as an officer of the court. And when I am made aware that a crime has occurred, I am bound by my oath as an attorney to report it. When lawyers are sworn in, and yes, we are sworn in when we pass the bar, we take an oath, and part of our oath is to uphold the Constitution and the laws of the United States and of this state. And that means when I am made aware that a crime has occurred or is occurring, then I am duty and honor bound to report it. And when I found out about this situation that I'm going to tell you about today, I did report it. It has been reported to the Texas Rangers, and it has been reported to the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office, and they are in the process of investigating this. Now, let me also say that there is only one Texas Ranger that is stationed in the Beaumont office, and so his job responsibilities are, he's pretty busy, to put it bluntly. And he is responsible for investigating those things that the Rangers have jurisdiction of within the Beaumont region. And since he's in that office by himself, he has to prioritize the cases. And this one, even though you're going to understand that it's very serious, I believe it's very serious. I am mad as hell about it. It's not as serious as some of the other things that he has to investigate. And the way this process works is the Rangers have to be authorized by the district attorney's office to investigate this type of crime. And all that has occurred. I have had conversations with the district attorney's office with Keith Giblin, our elected DA, and he has indicated that this will be investigated and it will be prosecuted. So there's a process that has to happen, all right? So with all that being said, let me tell you what this is all about. And you may have already heard about this. There's already been some posts about it this morning because I indicated to some of my, for lack of a better term, my inner circle yesterday that I was ready to blow the top off of this because I've had it. I have just had it with it. This came to light quite a few months ago that councilperson Tiffany Hamilton, who represents District 2, does not live in the city of Port Arthur, and she doesn't live in the state of Texas. And prior to the election, she did not live in the city of Port Arthur the required amount of time in order to be a candidate. So let me explain. When you run for office in the city of Port Arthur, we have to fill out a form, and this is a government document. Okay, so this is offense number one. We fill out a government document that shows that we are eligible to run. And one of the requirements is that you live in the city of Port Arthur for at least 1 year before you file for office. And this is a public document. You can go on portarthurtx.gov, click on city secretary, click on elections, click on 2023 general election, and then there is a folder for each candidate. You can click on her folder and you can look at this document. It is a public document. She claimed on that document that she lived at a residence address that actually belongs to her parents and that she had lived there for 13 continuous years. We know that that's not true. She did not live in the city of Port Arthur for a year before she filed that document and ran for office. She did not. So that's an offense. I'm not exactly sure what it will be categorized as because it could be one of several things. It could be tampering with a government document. It could be securing a document by deception. It could be falsifying a government document. I mean, it could be election fraud. I mean, there's a number of ways that it could be classified, but it's an offense, okay? So that's number one, all right? Number two is this past summer, I think it was in June or July, she got married. Congratulations. Her husband lives and works in Baltimore, Maryland. He works for the federal government. I believe he works for the U.S. Department of Energy. Tiffany doesn't live here. She lives in Baltimore, Maryland. If you have been to any council meetings lately, or if you've watched them online, she has missed a number of meetings. She has missed executive sessions. She has missed special called meetings. And she has missed council meetings that are open to the public. She has attended by Zoom for several of them. I attended by Zoom a workshop that we did because I was involved with my grandkids that day, and I wasn't going to give up what I was doing with them to come down to City Hall in person. But I was in the state of Texas. I was in Beaumont. So she attended this last meeting by Zoom. And here's why I'm so mad about all of this, okay? I was mad about it anyway because what she's doing is illegal, it's fraudulent, it's corrupt. But now I find out that all of the rest of City Council knows about this. And nobody is doing anything about it. The fraternity that a number of our City Council are a member of, that fraternity knows about it. There are citizens in the community that know about it. And nobody seems to think that it's a big deal. And the reason for it is that she is part of the voting block. There's a 4-member block. And if you don't know what that is, all you have to do is watch a council meeting. It happened at the council meeting on Tuesday. She will vote with that block to overrule anything that the other 3 of us will vote against. Case in point. Tuesday night, I brought up the issue of the mayor's request for travel. I was against it because he's going an extra day and he is spending additional money that was not part of the original registration. Councilmember Doucette spoke up against it as well. When it came time to vote, Willie Bay Lewis, myself, and Harold Doucette voted against his travel. The other 3 council persons voted for it, including Tiffany Hamilton. And then the mayor gets to vote to break the tie. So there you have it. That's why they are not saying anything about this, because they want her to be on council so that she can be in that 4-member voting block that will overrule what the 3 others of us that are the most level-headed ones at times when it comes to voting, so that they can vote against us. Okay? Now, let me tell you how we know these things, all right? Of course, I've done some research. I have some resources that I can look at. The records in Jefferson County and in the city of Port Arthur, she doesn't own any property. Her name is not on the deeds to any property. She doesn't have any apartment leases that we are aware of. There have been a little bit of investigation by a particular person that most of you will be familiar with. Philip Klein has done some digging into it. There have been some media newscasters that have done some digging as well. One of whom told me that, you know, he's hearing people downplay it like it's no big deal. Anyway, so there has been some preliminary investigative work being done. This is, you know, prior to the Rangers or the DA's office doing anything. So there is some evidence that this is true. Doesn't live here, hasn't lived here. Falsified documents. I'm so mad about this, I almost can't think straight. There have also been some statements made by people that are familiar with her, that are friends with her, and some of them just made these comments, you know, kind of innocently, I guess, in conversation. And these statements have gotten back around to me that indicate that, you know, her friends and family know that she doesn't live here. And again, it's like it's no big deal. How can it be no big deal when someone has fraudulently been elected and is fraudulently on the city council? How can that be no big deal? How can it be no big deal? So that's what I'm so mad about. And somebody just asked, who is she? I'm talking about Councilmember Tiffany Hamilton, who represents District 2. And let me tell you a little bit about District 2, okay? Pleasure Island is in District 2. It's not in my district, but I care a lot about what happens on Pleasure Island. And guess who's been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff about what's going on or what is not going on Pleasure Island? That would be me. I have asked numerous questions about, what's going on with the island. Why isn't the playground open? What's going on with the yacht club? What's going on with the water park? For example, and I'm sorry, I'm just kind of all over the place because I'm so angry about this. Yesterday, I met with the developer who won the RFQ to do the water park and the hotel and the shopping centers and all of that. I met with him. I sat down with him for a little over an hour. And the reason that I did it is twofold. Number one, he came and presented all of this to council before I was elected. I remember seeing it on the news. I saw the drawings and the mock-ups, and everybody was flipping out. How are we going to pay for that? Well, we don't pay for this. The developer pays for it. And then guess what? We get to reap the benefits. 650,000 people will come to Pleasure Island every year. The money that will be made off of this development is going to be unbelievable. And yeah, the developer's going to make a bunch of money too. I sat down and met with him yesterday. Spent an hour with him. Not my job, not my district. But I did it because I care about the city. And that's why I'm so mad about this. The reason that I ran for office is because I care about the city. I care about my district, but I care about the whole city. And when someone is being deceitful and fraudulent and downright criminal, I'm going to call it out. I will call it out. And that's what I'm doing this morning. I've spoken to the media about this. I have spoken to law enforcement about this. And I'm done. I am done. And I can't believe that the rest of council knows about this and nothing has been done. That's probably what makes me the most angry. That nothing has been done and they've known about this. And they probably knew about it when she ran. They probably knew that. I encourage you to look at that document that I'm telling you about, okay? Again, it's at the portarthurtx.gov website. Click on City Secretary, click on Elections, click on General Election 2023, and when that folder opens, you will see a folder for every candidate. Click on her folder, and the document, I believe, is candidate application. It's one of the very first ones that's in that folder chronologically. I think it'll probably be at the bottom of the folder because they're chronologically in that folder. And just look at what it says. It has her parents' address and that she had lived there for 13 years. That is a lie. It is a lie. And I'm really not trying to get anybody else in trouble other than her. I'm pissed at the rest of council and the mayor who know about this and didn't do anything. I don't want to drag any other city employees into this, but there is a process to vet candidates and to make sure that the information on their application is correct. And I don't think that was done. I was really careful when I filled mine out because I haven't always lived in District 3. There was a time when I didn't live in the city limits of Port Arthur. I lived in Port Neches. And I really had to think when I filled it out because you have to say how long you've lived in the city of Port Arthur continuously and how many years you've lived at your residence address in your district. So I had to think about that because I moved into the home that I live in now with my husband in October of 2012. And so I had to think about the date that I moved in this house to calculate how many years I had lived in District 3 continuously, and how long I had lived in the city of Port Arthur, because before I lived in this house here, I lived in Port Neches. So I was very careful. Of course, that's me. I'm a lawyer. I'm transparent. I'm honest. If if I know that there's a crime that's been committed, I'm going to report it. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm tired of being silent about this. I was being silent to give deference to law enforcement, to give them time to investigate and do what they needed to do. But because of other responsibilities and other cases that take precedence over this one, it just has not come to fruition yet. It will in due time. And there's really nothing that can be done to undo it. You can't unring this bell. You cannot unring this bell. It's been rung, and lots of people know about it, and you can't undo it. What's done is done. What she needs to do is she needs to just abdicate her seat. She just needs to give up her seat. Now, what we do when that happens, I don't know. I don't know. I would have to go back and look at the city charter and look at our ordinances to see what would happen if someone is removed from their council seat, or if they give up their council seat. Do we have a special election? Is someone appointed? I don't know. I don't know that anything like this has ever happened in the city of Port Arthur. But I'm going to find out, because it's going to happen. Either she's going to step down on her own, or she's going to be removed. There's going to be a process to have her removed. And she's going to be prosecuted. Because I'm going to see that through to the end. If I was doing this, don't you think they would throw me under the bus? Of course they would. So I'm not, no. And let me just say this up front, because I know this is going to get thrown at me. This has absolutely nothing to do with anything other than the fact that it is wrong and it's a crime. That's it. And I think you know where I'm going with that. It doesn't have anything to do with anything other than this is wrong. It's a crime. Other people know about it, and it needs to be dealt with. So the best thing to do would be for her to step down. Yep. So I'm seeing a lot of comments on here, so let me see if I can go back and answer any questions that were posed. Let's see. Thank you all for watching and hearing me rant. Oh, yes, Gloria Sanchez says, and collecting money. Yeah, she's collecting her paycheck as far as I know. I don't know if she's gotten any other benefits. I don't know if she's on the health insurance or what, but yep. Yep. So that's probably another crime in and of itself. What can we do to end it? That's why you need to be mayor. Well, no, not anytime soon. Thank you. Thank you for that vote of confidence and support. Yeah, the other three don't want her to lose. They don't want to lose her vote. Thank you for your commitment to serving the citizens of Port Arthur. Job well done. Thank you, Floyd. I appreciate you. I would think the person that she ran against would be mad as hell too. Sorry, I kind of got kicked off for a minute because I got a phone call. If he knows about this, I'm sure that he is mad as hell. We're going to have elections in May for mayor. That's right, he terms out, so we can elect a District 2 council at that time. I'll have to check into that. I really don't know what the answer is as to what we do if she's removed. All right, somebody just asked, I must not have got who you're talking about. So I am talking about District 2 councilperson Tiffany Hamilton. Doesn't live in Port Arthur, doesn't live in the state of Texas, didn't live in Port Arthur the requisite amount of time that she should have been here before she filed for office. And it's time that the general public knows about this. So you can go back and look, those of you that want to go back and dig into this. I've already mentioned the candidate application form that's on the city website. That's a public document. Philip Klein has already talked about this on his blog. I want to say it was maybe a month or two ago that he mentioned it. And he's done some digging. He's got some resources, to find that she doesn't have utilities in the city of Port Arthur, doesn't have a lease agreement in the city of Port Arthur, doesn't own property in the city of Port Arthur. I already looked that up. The house that she claims that she lived in is owned by her parents. I'm almost at a loss now. I am so mad about this. And I was keeping it under wraps until I found out yesterday. Yesterday is when I found out that the rest of council knows about this. And no one's done anything about it. That's when I blew a gasket. And it's a good thing I didn't get on here yesterday, because I probably would have made a fool of myself, because I was really mad yesterday when I found that out. So, that's what's happening right now. I'm not sure what's going to transpire in the next few days. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people mad at me, and I really don't care. I do not care. I don't care who gets mad at me. I don't care who says anything about me on social media or otherwise. I don't care. I'm doing what's right, and I'm doing what needs to be done. As a citizen of Port Arthur, as a council member, and as a lawyer, I'm doing what needs to be done, and I'm doing what's right. So I don't care what anybody thinks. I really don't. So the people out there that, you know, said ugly things about me during the campaign, they're probably going to say ugly things about me, and I don't care. I don't. The city of Port Arthur deserves better. Do better. Tiffany Hamilton, do better. Just resign. Just resign, so that we don't have to go through any of this mess. Just resign. It's as simple as that. All right, I need to calm down, because I'm going to my Bible study at church in about 30 minutes, so I need to get a better attitude. Yeah. So if you have questions or comments, concerns, send me an email, send me a text message. My phone, again, is 658-1346. My email at the city is doneane.beckcom@portarthurtx.gov. Or you can comment right here. I am as transparent as can be. And if you want to post comments here on this page, it's a public page, so, you know, be careful what you say. If you want to say something in private, send me a message or send me a text or an email. Yeah, I'm really mad about this. And something's going to get done. It's going to get resolved. I promise. I promise that to the citizens of Port Arthur. I promise that. All right, y'all have a good day.